and I'll never back down. In the middle of the ring is where I lay the smack down. Against all odds, I will always prevail. The way you step to me is like hell in a cell.
Greetings and salutations, this is Christopher Daniels. I'm talking to my main man Delzinski right now. Any video game show, any video game channel, any YouTube channel called Vintage Shizzle is indeed hashtag Daniels approved.
Yo, alright guys, Delzinski here, and as per usual, it is We Talk Wednesday, and I'm joined as always by the one and only Professor, that is Weeds.
You alright, mate? How's it going?
I'm very good, thank you. It's good to be Daniels approved. How are you today?
Well, it's fantastic to be Daniels approved. I'm much like yourself. I'm a little bit chilly. Both been challenged to the Ice Bucket Challenge this week, haven't we? The ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which has left me feeling, I think I've got a cold because I had to do it in the pouring down, pissing down UK, London weather on a bank holiday Monday when I should have been doing something else. But obviously all in good cause of a good charity. And I hear you've been doing a similar thing today too.
I'm feeling fresh though. I'm feeling fresh. Feeling mighty fresh, mighty fine. But yeah, no, it was a bit chilly to be perfectly honest with you, yes.
But all good.
Yes, and I mean, there's been a lot going on Monday Night Raw. It's been a bit of a crazy one, to be honest. So I'm looking very much forward to your Raw recap in 60 seconds. So I thought I'd bring it to the front of the show this week, to be perfectly honest.
I don't like change.
Well, I mean, a lot of the topics that we're going to be talking tonight are about Raw, so why not you kickstart things with the 60 seconds? I mean, we're going to be talking
I can't open the show. What? I'm middle of the card. I'm Damien Sandow. I'm the Miz. I'm the person that no one misses.
You have done that once before, actually. You did actually do the intro once. You need to do that again at some point.
Never again.
Why?
I'm not as charismatic as you. You're the Rock. I'm basically, like Midian.
Brooklyn Brawler.
Brooklyn Brawler. Yes, I am the Brooklyn Brawler. I am the ceaseless, endless jobber.
You should see Weed's ALS video. He looks like the Brawler as well. Ooh.
Is that my stomach you're referring to?
I'm not saying anything else.
You're such a bitch.
I mean, yes. I mean, after you've done your fantastic Raw 60-second recap, which I'm hoping will be 60 seconds this week.
Not a chance.
What are you going for? Over or under?
I will go under this week because I'm ill.
Okay, very good. Well, hopefully...
Well, that I'm ill, thanks.
That's perfectly fine. That's the usual as well. I mean, hopefully that will lead on to the topics that we've got today. I mean, we're going to be talking about the Bella twins and some kind of questionable acting coming out of Brie Bella these days. I'm not entirely sure.
She questioned whether we have twin fantasies, us WWE fans. I think that's disgusting to have that kind of behaviour, personally.
I bet you do. I bet your 60-second recap doesn't think that, though.
That's all I'm covering in it, is the Bellas.
Yes, probably, most likely. And as well, we're going to be talking about Bray Wyatt, just for the basis because did he get buried this week? What did that do for Bray Wyatt going up against a very angry Super Cena?
Taking the Undertaker, the potential Undertaker role that they've said Bray could go into quite literally by nearly burying him.
Yeah, it was really shite, to be honest. And last but not least, we're going to be talking the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam, because he is doing the off skis. His time has come to an end once again, and RVD's off to do some wacky-backy 420 crazy shizzle. So
for another 90 days somewhere.
Yeah, so I mean that is the show this week, and obviously, as I said to you, Professor, take it away.
You gonna buzz me in?
Of course. So, don't forget the rules, yeah?
I've forgotten the rules. Recap the rules, please.
I say Daniels approved or Bagwell approved. That gives you 10 seconds to get...
To witter on.
No, to get the hell out of there. You should be wrapping it up coming up to that 10-second mark.
I'll do my very best.
To be fair, most weeks you're almost done by that point, so it kind of defies the point of me saying it. It's almost like I'm a sponsor at the end of the 60 seconds.
Well, this show has a sponsor.
Yes, it's Daniel's approved. Cheap
Of
plugs.
course.
Right, okay, so let's do this. Right, so I'm going to count you in 3, 2, 1. Just delaying it a little bit there.
Thanks.
I bet you're ready. I bet you're waiting to go, aren't you?
I'm about to explode.
Don't want to know about that.
I thought I was getting some kind of evolution intro there.
Dun, 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 dun. Go.
I know where my 60 seconds is going. Well, Raw this week opened up with a very interesting Hall of Fame panel consisting of HBK, or HB Shizzle, where I'm sure you stole that name from, Hulk Hogan,
Brother.
and the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Woo!
Woo! And only poor old Hulk gives Mr. Cena a fighting chance when it comes to his rematch with Brock Lesnar. We move on to Cesaro, who got a massive win against a departing RVD to become the #1 contender for the US belt. Paige and AJ, still a bit weird. I think they're only going to turn up the weirdness, to be honest with you. Don't really get what's going on here still. Seth eulogy for Ambrose was crashed by the one and only Roman Reigns, which led to a 2-on-1 match with Waiter Reigns.
Daniel's approved.
Waiter Kane and Waiter Rollins. Bellas, how can you tell them apart? The King can, if he just looks like he want to throw mud on them. And Cena did his best Brock impression for at least 2 minutes before he was knackered.
You went over.
Oh, no. How many?
103.
I said it would be 5 either side.
That's poor.
Apologise.
If Vince McMahon was here right now, he'd be saying,
I would be.
"You're fired."
Well, we can only hope he turns up.
But I mean, it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Did I cover most of it?
I think you did. Then you kind of went into hyper mode in that last 10 seconds. I've never heard anything quite like it. It was like the King when he'd seen some puppies.
Well, that's why I was on the Bellas, wasn't I? And he looked like he wanted to throw some mud on the pair of those when he was trying. He didn't really try to pull one off the other very hard, did he?
He got slapped the shit out of.
I know. Don't they know the poor guy had a heart attack, what, a year ago, 18 months ago?
I was thinking about that.
Nikki Bella can't do that to him. But yeah, well, I obviously had to sprint the last bit because I put in as much athletic work as John Cena did in that Bray Wyatt kind of squash weirdness that they had before the 6-man tag that finished Raw. But what did you think of Raw this week then?
Well, to be honest, it was all right. It was all right.
You did steal HBK Shizzle, didn't you?
No. He stole my smile first. I mean, basically, the Bellas. I quite actually like the fact that they've made them quite a piece now. Obviously because of Daniel Bryan, but Brie Bella's acting is like a little bit.
I was gonna say one of them can act and the other one can't.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier to be a heel though, isn't it?
Well, to be fair, give it over the past few weeks, I quite liked Brie's role, and when she was doing it with Steph, look, not literally weeds before you start getting excited, but when she was in her,
you lost me.
when she was in her little feud with Stephanie, which I'm sure we'll pick up and continue, but felt like that she was capable of doing that. But it's when she starts trying to sell being upset. I'll give you a flashback of when
Brie, cry.
Well, do you remember back when Kane was trying to get in their car, and she was screaming as well? Do you remember that about a few weeks back on Raw?
Yeah, it sounds like James Brown.
It just doesn't really work. She kind of I don't know. I'm not sure about her acting skills. I think she may need to hone those skills a bit. Maybe be taken under the wing from maybe Eva Marie or someone like that.
Well, no one's going to top Eva Marie, are they?
Well, she literally did teach Brock Lesnar the motto of instead of eat, sleep, suplex, repeat, she's eat, sleep, headlock, repeat, isn't she? So
eat, sleep, repeat.
Oi.
I'm being harsh. I know you love Eva Marie, so we'll leave that there, shall we?
Yes, let's. But I mean, what do you think of Brie and Nikki. I think Nikki's. I don't really, to be honest, I actually prefer Brie out of the two twins. But Nikki Bella's attitude's just like she does do it quite well, but she is a bit of a bitch.
Oh, it was great. It's, as I said earlier, I think, and I think you may have said earlier, the divas in WWE basically reminds me of that Big Bang Theory where Sheldon just turns around and goes, "I got your back, Jack. Bitches be crazy," because they're all fucking nuts at the moment. But Brie and Nikki, it was good. The only bit that it's still going well for Nikki. Obviously, Brie's a little bit wooden in some of her acting ability, as you've pointed out. Why did the womb come into it? I didn't think I'd ever watch WWE Raw with the word womb being mentioned and someone being expelled from it before they were born. It's when they stick one of those controversial lines in, and then they kind of think, do you know what? Maybe we shouldn't have said that.
And then all the John Cena fans are like, what does that mean?
That means that John Cena is going to lose his hustle, loyalty, respect wristbands, and he's going to take a page out of his potential wife's book and start being, a proper bitch like her.
I thought the comment that the womb comment was a bit.
Didn't need it. Why? Why do it?
She didn't even look comfortable saying it. She looked like she wasn't sure about saying that as well. And when she'd said it, I think she thought, that didn't really go down well. It didn't exactly get a huge reaction. Like, it didn't get, and sometimes, I think when Brie called Stephanie a bitch, that got a massive reaction. You say womb or anything like that, and I'm going, do you know what I mean? It's I don't want to hear about things like that. I just, you don't just say you wish she was never born. It's easier, isn't it? But who would have put that line to those two to play out? Again, I just think Vince,
Russo or McMahon.
I didn't think it went down very well. It felt very weird. It
wasn't needed.
Yeah, in the time that we're in. To be fair on the WWE, do you not think they're beginning to start the change of moving towards a more aggressive sort of WWE look? Lesnar being champion personifies that aggression. Feels like John Cena possibly could be becoming a more aggressive wrestler with a slightly tweaked moveset, albeit that I still expect him to lose at Night of Champions.
Well, I'm sure we'll come on to that in a bit anyway with Lesnar and Cena again, because there's a lot more to cover again this week. I think they do these edgy, controversial things a lot of the time to see if they can get newsworthy and other bits, and they pop up that WWE said something weird on TV again. They kind of, I don't think, we always talk about eras, and I don't think they're necessarily ever going to move back to an era of what we've previously seen with the Attitude Era, or any of the other things that have happened over the last 20-25 years. I think it's going to move into new territory, and the territory, I suppose the best thing for it now is, I don't think they called it before, it's the reality era, isn't it, really, where you are going to get these real life stories, and it's still the same essential wrestling stories, but I think you're going to get these bits where they decide they're going to turn the volume up ever so slightly, and you get weird scenes like you did with Brie on Monday. And I think that's kind of where the WWE is going at the moment. That's where they're going with Lesnar. They're building that up, as I said, we'll probably talk about it later, but they're building it up like it's a UFC fight, how it's going to be, Cena's had to change his tactics, all this kind of stuff. So I think it's going to a more reality based kind of product at the moment.
Well, yeah, and I think as well, the Bella Twins storyline, it's probably going to float over or cross over to like something like Total Divas, where it will be like a split, and it'll be like, ooh, all that kind of homeboy.
We'll be hooked, won't we?
Well, it's all right. It's not bad.
You a Total Divas fan?
Be more of a fan if Renee Young was in it. She isn't in it, is she? Let me know. Comment spots below. Is she in it? Tell me.
I don't think she's in it. Summer Rae might be, though. I'm sure she is.
Average.
Average. So harsh.
Who's better? Who's better? Tell me. Comment box
what?
below.
Wrestling.
Who's your favourite diva? Let me know by the comment box below. Do it. Do it now.
Going to be inundated, I'm sure.
Renee Young will
it's-
top that list. Guarantee it.
It was so yeah. The Bellas was good. I don't really get what the point of Jerry Lawler being in there to kind of mediate
It's awesome.
between the two. That's
Come
kind
on,
of like
man.
asking Jerry Springer to mediate between a couple of hot women, really, isn't it?
He's getting slapped about left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
I was
well,
waiting for him to pile driver, to be honest, but then again, that might be a bit X-rated. So
He's no Andy Kaufman. He's not going to do that to Andy Kaufman, definitely. But yeah, definitely. I don't get why Lawler was there.
it was a bit worrying with Lawler, though. Then you think, like, I mean, as you said, covered it earlier. I mean, with his heart condition, he really should not be involved in my opinion, any segments in the ring at all, particularly physical. I just don't. I think with Lawler, just why take the risk? I mean, I know he might think that he can do it, but I mean, he thought he could do it before, and he got in the ring, and he had trouble.
It's just funny. It's just a funny picture where he's going in there to mediate between these two women who obviously have these sisters who have issues, and he's like the worst person to ever go mediate, I would imagine, between two women. It's literally like pouring petrol on a fire.
Have you ever played?
Where are we going with this?
No. It's one of the Smack.
No, I've never been out with two sisters.
I think it's Look, I think it's SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain, where you have in the story mode, and his face is in the story mode. I'll try. Maybe, just maybe, I'll edit a picture of the King's face into. If I can find one, I'll edit it into this We Talk, or put it at the end of the We Talk, just to like sign it out perfectly. But his faces are a right treat, and I think he brought those faces back when he was mediating between Brie and Nikki, because he's all about the puppies.
I was going to say, either way, whatever he does, he's going to be better than JBL, isn't he?
JBL's just happy to be there, man.
JBL, he's a downer to listen to.
He hates Jack Swagger.
I just want Jack Swagger to knock the shit out of him at the moment. It's just like sharp.
I've never heard someone be so angry at somebody for such a pointless reason. He let our country down, did he? I thought
he let them down
that
again
match.
on Monday night. Got beaten again.
To be fair, I thought Swagger was having quite a good run, and now it looks like it's been totally annihilated. So
he's been forgotten because he's got bad ribs, and he's probably going to have them for the next 6 months. That will explain his run. So, what did you think of the Open with the Hall of Fame panel?
I thought Shawn Michaels was spot on.
He was gunning it, wasn't he?
Well, I didn't. There is rumours that Hogan and HBK have got legitimate beef with each other in terms of their match that they had. Have you ever heard about this?
Oh, at SummerSlam,
where Shawn, I think, just refresh my memory. Who got the victory in that one?
It was Hogan,
right?
And it was right in the peak of when Shawn. I think it was like 05, might have been 04. I think it's 05. Again, comments box if anyone knows precisely. I think it was SummerSlam 05. But it was debatable. I don't think Shawn really minded. Well, it sounds like he didn't really care who went over, but he expected it to be a series. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, it is. And obviously, it didn't really play out like that, did it?
No, it was one and done.
Exactly. And there's also a lot of rumours that in that match, hence Shawn wasn't really happy because I think he did want to win that one to kick things off, but he did think it was going to be a series. And if you ever watch that match, just watch how Shawn Michaels. Well, just watch how Shawn Michaels sells everything in that match. It is way, way, way over the top. Just watch it. Just watch Shawn Michaels. He totally oversells every move. It's
well, as soon as I've got my $9.99 cheap plug WWE Network, I will.
Well, you're never going to get your $9.99. They can't even be asked to bring it over here yet.
October 1st.
Oh yeah. Thanks. Last.
As always, I'm sure we're getting it before, like Taiwan or somewhere like that. Great. They're probably producing it though, so
yeah, it's made there.
But yeah, what did you think? I actually quite liked the bringing the panel out and then Cena coming out. It was a bit weird when basically Hulk Hogan essentially anointed John Cena as Mini Hogan.
Yeah, they were both wearing red. They're both wearing the red and the yellow. It's kind of like, I don't know, father and son relationship.
And to be honest with you, I just think Ric Flair was happy to be there because he didn't really seem to know what's going on today.
I'm happy to be here. Woo!
Nature Boy.
Oh, I love the Nature Boy. I mean, yeah, he was happy to be there. Hogan was smoking something because he's become like, Cena-fied. He's been Cena-fied, and then HBK was just having none of that shit. HBK was like super aggressive.
What did you make of the Cena promo?
All I wanted to happen in that whole segment was HBK to super kick him. To be brutally honest with you, that's what I wanted. But it's same old Cena, isn't it?
We're not getting a rematch. We're getting a fight. That's what we're getting. He's there for Brock Lesnar's arse. That's what he said. I'm saying it verbatim. It did make me wonder at the time, but he's only there for Brock Lesnar's arse.
You always get a bit worried when wrestlers say that.
And then he left the ring quite abruptly.
It's like when you say, I'm coming for your arse or coming for your ass. I mean, are you? And what does that exactly mean?
But going back to the match, which is going to be building up, I'm quite liking how this is being built. It is that kind of reality sense that, you got me in the first the match at SummerSlam, obviously the second match between them in the last couple of years. I'm having a debate with myself and have been, I suppose, with you today, where we actually see this going, because you think you get a Lesnar win, don't you?
I should hope so.
Is it going to be another crushing win?
Yes.
Because what they were doing with Cena, would you say it was slightly odd this week on Raw?
It was pants.
But what we are getting is essentially what we have been asking for in some form or another, in the form they are willing to give it to us in that they are changing that character and tweaking it ever so slightly. Would you agree?
No, he's still wearing Fruity Pebble t-shirts.
Take away what he's wearing, he's acting differently.
Yeah, but they always do this. Oh, come on, man. They always do this, right? So don't you remember with Kane? Oh, I'm going to bring out the evil side. The evil side. What is the evil side? I don't get it. This time now, he's like going to get a bit more aggressive. Is he? He'll still be doing the attitude adjustment and he won't be doing the FU. He'll still be doing the STF. He won't be doing the STFU. Why? Because he's the dork.
Well, I think we've kind of accepted now that they are not going to turn him, are they?
Just bring back the original John Cena that everybody liked. Why can't they just turn him heel?
They will never, ever turn him heel.
That is why SummerSlam was so refreshing, to see John Cena get, dominated. The worst thing that they could have done is then hit the panic button, which is exactly what they did on Raw. They hit the panic button. Oh, we didn't establish John Cena very well there. We made him look pretty bad. I mean, we didn't really want it to go down that way. We just wanted to look like Lesnar was a dominant heel, but we actually went OTT on that. So now what we've got to do, we've got to go and bury someone else. We've got to go and bury Bray Wyatt to get Cena back on top. And just think about that for a minute. Bray Wyatt went into a feud with Cena, back and forth, was a close run thing, had some really good matches. In fact, their match at Payback was amazing. I did a DVD review on that, by the way. Check it out. Link in the description box below, cheap plug. But they had that great back and forth feud. I mean, some of it was a bit naff, and some of it a bit weird with that little boy singing and stuff as well. Weird. But they had a good feud, all right? And that's what I'm trying to put across here. They had a solid feud. It was back and forth. And all of a sudden, Super Cena can turn into the freaking Hulk again, the Red Hulk, and, destroy him.
I think this is where we're talking about the eras and how they're changing. And I think this is how the WWE are arguably trying to change it. It's always been quite a debatable fact that McMahon has quite he's quite influenced by what the UFC do, and what they've built up in with these last two things with Lesnar and with what Cena did on Monday is that one move, one thing can make a difference. And both times it's been that Lesnar caught Cena unaware, and then it was Cena caught Wyatt unaware this week. So maybe they're going for more of a reality thing, and they're trying to build this up into a legitimate fight, because that is I think we're going to get a more of a fight this time. I think it may be a kind of maybe a little bit of a swagger Rusev angle where Cena basically passes out or something like that. I don't know if they're going to have him lose again. I think he might get dominated again, but I don't think he'll necessarily lose. It just depends if he's sticking around for a while. I assume he is, because I haven't heard any differently that he's going anywhere.
I thought he was going.
If he's going, he could I don't know if they'll have him lose, because there's still stuff you can do with these two. As I said, this is the feud that Cena never had over the last 10, 12 years. And we may have had a very, very different John Cena if Brock Lesnar wouldn't have gone to the NFL or UFC and would have actually stuck around after WrestleMania 20, after the Goldberg match. But we'll never know. So I think rather than saying, it's just Cena, he's doing this. I'm just happy that we're actually seeing this, and we're getting the chance to actually have what potentially could be a feud for the next few years, depending on how long Lesnar stays around this time.
I think the best possible thing to come out of Night of Champions is Brock Lesnar defeats John Cena. Doesn't have to be total dominance like it was before, but still a very dominant display, and beats John Cena. The worst thing that the WWE could do right now is give Brock Lesnar a loss of some sort. And the best...
I don't think he'll lose.
But they should.
Think he'll win.
They should then make the decision to do something with John Cena. So my ideal scenario is that he loses twice, he gets dominated both times, and then he goes away, and they can then have the opportunity to revamp John Cena in whatever way they please. I mean, if they were smart about it, they would bring back the Thugonomics. I know it's never going to happen, but why the hell not?
I mean, even with the scene, I know you said not a lot's changed, and arguably, I suppose, not a lot has changed. But in terms of a Cena change, what we were getting on Raw on Monday was different. We don't normally get as straight talking Cena as we got.
Yeah, you say that.
I know it's been, but this was
Rock
just
did it with The Rock. He's gonna train his life. That's what he did with The Rock. He was gonna train. He was gonna give him his best. He was gonna give it his all. You know that John Cena, that one that never gives up. It's the same.
I think he's just working with the limitations that he's given, because they will never.
His moveset?
It's not a lot different from Mr. Reigns' moveset before we get onto that. But they can't turn him heel, because other than Cena, who is the baby face in that company at the moment? Who sells the merchandise?
Jeff Hardy.
No one. If they turn him, they are cutting off such a lot of revenue for themselves that it is literally it's always been this way. The amount of when we go to the live events, how many Cena t-shirts do we see? And it's not just kids, it's everyone. Everyone has the Cena merchandise, and it's become the thing is that you got. Even when we go, we I don't know about you. I'm not going to say you cheer John Cena, but I'm included in both chants. I'm there. Just it's great to see Cena going, and it is. I mean, because as much as a lot of people do knock him, and I am getting getting on my Cena soapbox here. I do respect what the guy's done. Always will. Doesn't miss days. And the character, we know the character's stale. And I think they're changing it as much as they possibly can or will allow him to. So I know this has been going on for years and years and years, but he can only do what he's allowed to do to that extent. He's not a revolutionary, like CM Punk. He's not going to say, screw you guys, I'm going to do what I want anyway. He's a company man, and he always will put the WWE first, whether or not it's a detriment to himself.
Yeah, but he doesn't cut a promo like Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman did.
Brock Lesnar does not cut promos.
How? Come on, that was the best bit of Raw.
Brock Lesnar got told, read this line, and we will cut it in to a nice video package for you. Because he feels sorry for John Cena, doesn't he?
No, it was the best. It was the best.
He's Ivan Drago from Rocky IV. This is what we're seeing.
I loved that little package that they put together there, because Lesnar was so based in it. He was so serious. That's the WWE that I want. I want Lesnar at the top of the company, an arse kicker, to coin the phrase that he says himself. I mean, that is who you want as a champion in your company. None of this John Cena stuff. You want Brock Lesnar. That's what you want.
Yeah.
We should have a proper debate about John Cena, because, I mean, look, okay, I know I do complain a lot about John Cena, but ultimately, I'm so glad that Lesnar's champion. It's refreshing. I think we've all been waiting for a long time to have something a bit different than your Randy Orton, your John Cena, and we've got it now, regardless if he's part-time or not. It's his presence.
But would you arguably say that is the problem? I mean, WWE is good, what they're doing at the moment, but would you say that is a reality for them, that they have no credible top guys there at the moment? Other than Cena and Lesnar, and Lesnar's part-time. It's not like when we grew up watching you had Undertaker, you had a decent Kane, you had Stone Cold Steve Austin, you had The Rock, you had Triple H, you had so many of these guys who were potentially top of the card and could hold any pay-per-view up by themselves. How many can do that on the WWE roster at the moment?
Yeah, but that's their choice. That was their decision. They proved that this week on Raw. They proved that they choose to make it that way, because what did they do to Bray Wyatt? If you want other legitimate challenges to those belts, and you really wanted a good feud, but why not have Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt? And I'm talking about the Wyatt family stalking Brock Lesnar. That would be awesome. But no, you had to go and do it, didn't you? You had to go and re-establish John Cena, and you had to use Bray Wyatt as the lamb.
Completely agree. There was no need to use Wyatt, but what they should be doing with Wyatt is not just having him, because we've seen him go against every babyface, whether they're in the company or they've returned to the company. He needs to start attacking heels as well.
How good would that be, though? I mean, if, let's say, Cena does get written off TV for a while, Bray Wyatt, maybe one more feud, then after that he's like, look, I want to go after the man that's conquered everything. That would establish Bray Wyatt as literally a monster. If he could take down the beast, because I've got a feeling they're saving that for Roman Reigns, but I'd prefer it, because but it would work, wouldn't it? Because you'd have Bray Wyatt, you'd use Rowan and Harper to take down Lesnar. You could even include a bit of a Heyman kidnap scenario in that. Come on.
He can't kidnap him. He wouldn't be able to get a message out. It
would be absolutely brilliant, and that's where they miss the trick with these things, because they worry too much. They panic. They hit the panic button, and that's what they did. And they damaged Bray Wyatt this week on Monday Night Raw.
And that's what I would say. As much as we've had our argument back and forth about Cena, what they did with Wyatt was the wrong person to do it with. If you wanted to have him make a statement like that, use someone like Rusev. Someone who's an up-and-comer, but, still fairly dominant. Show him what the big boys are like, and have him German suplex and do that Brock Lesnar impression that he was doing on Raw this week. It didn't need to be Wyatt, and it shouldn't have been Wyatt.
Why didn't they choose Heath Slater? I mean, he's on a roll at the moment.
Titus O'Neil.
One-man band.
It's that bit. So I like the scene a bit at the beginning with the Hall of Fame panel. I like the return promos that you got from Lesnar and Heyman. The video package was great, and then they did that. So no, I completely agree. Not the best way to to kind of do that for the Wyatts. And then obviously you had the match itself, 6-man tag, which might as well have been 3-on-1 for a majority of it. And you had Cena, attitude adjust every member of the Wyatt family and then get, after the match, some of them. And he had, I think it was Harpo, tap out to the STF. So, even what you're trying to do with Mark Henry and Big Show was belittled somewhat because you just got Super Cena in the ring. So yeah, I completely take on board what you're saying about Cena, and that they probably did push the panic button. And sometimes I just think they should just let these things ride. Cena can build himself up. He doesn't need to do what they did. It was enough that we were seeing a couple of violent changes. Obviously, we said it shouldn't have been against Wyatt, but there were changes to that character, and that was enough. You just needed Cena going down that path and maybe having that battle with himself. And it goes back to what Wyatt was trying to say, is that, is this, when we said this was the summer of Cena. Well, I said it was the summer of Cena. And we've had everything from Wyatt questioning him from a kind of psychological standpoint to now he's being questioned from a physical standpoint. So, yeah, maybe this was the summer of Cena and we never quite realised what was going on at the time. But, yeah, it was... not necessarily how I would have ended it, with that massive Super Cena 3-on-1 kind of battering that he gave the Wyatts, albeit with Henry and Big Show in the ring at the same time.
They all question Cena, but it's always the same thing. That is the problem with it all. They all question, whether or not he what he is as a person, his in-ring ability. It's always the same. It always comes out the same. Hustle, loyalty, respect. The champ is here. 5 knuckle shuffles and attitude adjustments. That's what is frustrating for the wrestling fan. Is it's always the same.
But we were talking about there not being a lot and underneath, and we've always said that they've got some solid players up there with Randy Orton, and obviously Daniel Bryan was there. They used to have CM Punk, and some of these guys have obviously disappeared for whatever reason they have, and they're acutely aware of this. This is why we're getting people like Seth Rollins built up like he is, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, obviously with the Shield, the Wyatts, and that's where they should be sticking still. And they shouldn't. Maybe there's some kind of power struggle at WWE, I don't know, but they should be sticking with those guys. So for me, I don't know what you thought. Best part of Raw for me out of everything was finally we're gonna get to see Rollins and Reigns go at it.
Yeah, because Roman Reigns remembered that he was in the Shield.
Well,
it's only taken quite a while, but he
didn't have his uniform in.
Thought it was pretty good, to be honest, that segment. Reigns looking like he was going to be taken out, same route as Dean Ambrose. We all know that Ambrose is written off telly for other reasons, but yeah,
they've got to change up little Seth's attire though with Kane. They look like a couple of waiters.
Did you not think that Kane potentially looks in a bit of a better condition recently? I think he's been working a bit harder because I thought he completely lost it around about 3 or 4 months ago. So I think Kane is trying to get himself back, but I'm still not keen on the corporate look, to be brutally honest with you.
No, but. I like the whole segment. And I thought we were only going to get one, to be honest with you. So when we actually did get a hash together 2-on-1 match, it was quite good to see. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, it was a good match. I think that the whole thing with the blocks is a little bit,
Again, it's going into that kind of. You remember we were talking about reality,
but it was good.
That's where it takes it away. Because you do what you do to Dean Ambrose, you kill the guy. So that's what they need to pick and choose.
But it was better. It was better what they did where he threw it. I thought they were going to maybe try and he was going to maybe nail Kane on those blocks. But the way that they actually let Roman Reigns pick it up and potentially miss, it was kind of dangerous, to be honest. I know that block may not be 100% concrete, but
still got the king, didn't it?
But yeah, I mean, like I say, that was quite a risky little thing to do. They've done that a few times with certain objects.
But that's when you're going to do stuff like that. When it contradicts what they're trying to do with Lesnar and Cena. So it's either reality or it's not. You can't be in and out with, you either take your whole product one way and say it's going to be a reality base, and then you can't have concrete blocks flying around, 5 minutes later in a different segment.
Yeah, I actually think Rollins is going to go over it in that feud. To be honest, I still got this feeling that Rollins still needs to keep up the momentum in terms of being the Money in the Bank, because you got to admit he's never going to cash it in anytime soon. So
Not when Lesnar's champion.
I think he will get the win over this, but it will be done in a way that Roman Reigns doesn't lose any face. So maybe Kane stitches him up quite a few times, and then that may lead to a Kane versus Roman Reigns feud.
Can't wait.
I told you what they need to do with Kane. I told you this, I think, last week.
Fire him?
Bring back Isaac Yankem.
Don't mention that. Pisses him off.
Tell me you did not just say that. I mean, there was a segment. What was it? I'm never going to remember it now, but there was a moment on Raw where I had that just sprung to mind, that Booker T saying, someone said something, and I just thought I'd insert in there, Booker T, tell me you did not just say that. I don't know what it was, but I think it was to do with the King.
It'll be the womb comment.
I think it was that, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just started thinking about Booker T for some reason. Don't know what it was.
And poor old Rob Van Dam. Well, I say poor old Rob Van Dam. I'm sure he's leaving with a hell of a lot more money than he came in with.
Yeah, but
what was the point of the run?
It's the same old with Legends, isn't it? I mean,
what was the point of the run?
This is my ongoing bugbear with Legends like Jericho, RVD. They come back, and yes, they want to help the young guys, of course, but they don't want to be jobbers. And I think RVD only maybe won 1 or 2 matches in his last run, and that's pretty.
Did he come back for Money in the Bank?
Then he went away again, I think.
He came back to massive, not massive fanfare.
He went away. He came back. Then he went away. Then he came back again. And I mean, he's not really done an awful lot. I mean, there was a moment where I think he was feuding with Del Rio for the belt, for the World Heavyweight Championship. But that's as high as he went. And it's to me, when you look back on someone like RVD, all the things he's done.
It just feels like
he's like that.
It just feels, and you got to that bit in Raw, and this is the bit I don't like about Raw, is we got into that kind of final hour, and it starts to run out of steam, and then you suddenly get these random matches just coming because they need to put a match on. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of, I can't remember if it was Kofi Kingston and Bo Dallas, and Bo Dallas is getting buried quicker than the Undertaker buries most of his opponents. But just don't fill it with mundane shit like that. If you haven't got the content, just shorten the bloody show, because it just that hurts. Because when I start watching stuff like that, it makes me flick, and I'm not going to sit and watch Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil versus Los Matadors.
You don't have Nitro to flick between anymore either, so
don't have TNA to flick to either.
or they could just bring back the Big Show Baby, because that's always good.
But it kills, and they again 2 hours. They had such good momentum, and then it kind of lost its way before the main event with the 6-man eventual tag, which was meant to be 1-on-1. Hate when they advertise like that, and then it suddenly turns into something else.
Yeah,
I'm very pessimistic towards the end of this We Talk.
I just think when it comes to, I've always had this issue with Legends. It's like, it's how much do you want to be remembered, and what do you want to be remembered for? Like, everyone with Chris Jericho will remember all the stuff he did in WCW, the Undisputed World Champion. But everyone will also remember that he did job to Fandango at WrestleMania, because apparently Fandango was the next big thing, and it wasn't, and that's annoying. That's a blip on Jericho's career, and Jericho's been in interviews and said, I would never job to somebody, and he did, and it's the same with RVD. I mean, RVD comes back and does things that, you know, sort of best for business to help the young talent. But they could have given him like you know, an Intercontinental Championship reign. They you know, when Van Dam was IC champ, didn't he feud with was he feuding with Lesnar at that point?
Yeah, long time ago. That was King of the Ring final, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had a tremendous feud with Brock Lesnar, and that's what's annoying. It's like, because Van Dam can still do it. I don't question he can't.
The only one that's been treated right, supposedly, and he didn't really get what he was promised for, apparently, was Batista.
I love Batista. I can't wait for him to come back.
Well, I don't know. I think he's too famous to come back now.
Right, I'm going to put this
He's a movie star. He can have a word with the Miz.
Got to put this out there, by the way. Do you not think that Batista's you know, appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy is potentially bigger than anything that The Rock has ever done?
Bigger than Hercules, put it that way.
Well, if you weigh it up on that scale, that film for me is bigger than a lot, possibly all the things. I think the biggest that The Rock's done, Fast and the Furious?
Fast and Furious, the two films would be the biggest, I would imagine, that he's done.
So it's not of that level, and I know The Rock's trying to break into doing, I think he wants to be involved in one of the Marvel films, maybe the Avengers, he wants to be one of those, but, I mean, that, you know, Batista got it.
He's more a solo guy now, isn't he? And it'll be interesting, so I think this will give Batista, you know, a decent kick in terms of Hollywood, and
you get a second
you can
shot
just see Vin Diesel. That's all I see is Vin Diesel when you see Batista.
Groot. I am Groot. I mean, no, but he will get a second run at Guardians of the Galaxy, because there's going to be a second one. So I mean, good for Batista. And as I said to you,
WWE are pissed though. They didn't promote that film once.
I watched this documentary, and I did think about, you know, I quite like Batista. And I'll be looking forward to him coming back, because I thought his run when he did come in, I actually enjoyed him being around. I watched, as I said, I reviewed Payback the other day, and I watched him in Payback, and I really liked having Batista, Blue Tista, whatever you want to call him.
He moves good for a big guy.
It was good.
But I don't necessarily think we're going to see him anytime soon now that this film is a bit of a hit.
I can't wait for him to come back. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully
it would have been great to see him and Lesnar. That was the natural feud for me for Lesnar.
Well, hopefully they do pick that up, because I think we all expect it at some point.
Hopefully.
I was going to say, I mean, this is before we do the shout-outs. I mean, we went well overkill on Mr. Cena.
I think we got to do a special.
Yes, we may do. We may have a proper debate about Cena. You know, I'll fight the good fight. You know,
you're going to stick up for Cena?
No, I'll fight the good fight. You know, the fans that have got, quite frankly, tired of John Cena, and you can put on your Fruity Pebbles shirt, your wristbands, your headband, whatever else you want to wear, and you can, fight the bad fight.
No problem. I'm all over
it. But anyway, what I was going to say was, we may do a special at some point. Let us know. Hit the like button. Tell us if you want that. What I was going to say, at WWE 2K15's press event for the roster reveal, somebody asked, and obviously I didn't tell you that I was going to ask you about this, but before we came on, but somebody asked Cesaro, was he ever going to bring the UFO to WWE? Now, do you know what the UFO is?
Refresh my memory.
Just look it up. Just look it up, Weeds. This move is freaking epic. The UFO, he did it in Ring of Honor. Oh my God. In fact, Cesaro's moveset before he came WWE was unbelievable. And they have toned down Cesaro. I mean, I could rant about Cesaro because I'm a big fan of Cesaro and they're killing the guy. Although, albeit, maybe he's getting a bit more momentum. A bit.
He's going to be US champion soon.
But
fella.
You should see him do this UFO move. It's... Guys, if you know about the UFO, you know, let me know in the comments box below. Just hit hashtag UFO because it's the best. Weeds. Next week you're going to have to talk to me about the UFO when you've got some videos on it because it's good.
Well, you know how much Ring of Honor we get over here, don't you?
Well, you'll find it. You'll definitely find it.
I'm going to YouTube it as soon as we're done.
Cool. So I guess all that's left to be said is no. Haha, you thought I was going to
Shout
forget.
out.
You thought I was going to forget, but I wasn't going to forget.
Bing, 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 bing.
Got quite a few this week. We've got Anthony Gorillaman, or Gorillaman. Anthony Gorillaman, I think it is. Hashtag you are Daniels approved. We've got Reese OX4. Yeah, Daniels approved. We've got Mr. Y2J Gaming. Your Daniels approved. We've got Hyde 93 WWE. I hope I've got that one right. Your Daniels approved. And last but not least, we've got Joey Lafferty. You are Daniels approved. So congratulations, guys. That's what Christopher Daniels said to me. And now you are also Daniels approved. So I guess that draws us to a close. Once again,
another We Talk in the bag.
It is. And like I said, guys, I mean, we did talk a lot about Cena this week. And we've both got very different opinions of John Cena. So if you do want a We Talk special on the Battle of Cena, then just let us know. I mean, I'm sure it'll be very interesting. I will make a very firm and solid debate of why I feel that there is a need for change when it comes to the champ. He's not even the champ anymore.
He thinks he is.
But he does think he is, yeah. So, I mean, once again, another We Talk comes to the close. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Weeds, have you got anything to plug, or do you just want to say goodbye?
I'm going to just say goodbye, because I'm actually going to go off and watch the Paul Heyman documentary on the back of your review.
Oh, that's very nice of you. You could also watch Payback as well, whilst you're at it. WWE Payback, reviewed it this week.
Did you review that one as well?
I did, actually, yeah. I don't know if I mentioned that.
No,
at all. I'm not sure. But if I did...
Cheap plug.
Link in the description box below. And yes, I did mention Jerry Lawler. I will put a picture right at the end of this video. So guys, all that's left to be said is please rate, comment and subscribe. It's another We Talk. Woo! Signing out.